Hi, and welcome back. So what we have here are the pieces for this little coffee table. We have 3 squares that are the same size. This is actually the underside of this one, and these 2 don't have any markings. You have the lifts that will go actually where these markings are. That's the very, very bottom. You have the lip that goes around this bottom piece, and the 2 lifts that lift these 2 pieces up, and your sandpaper, of course. I think what we can do is we can start by putting on the bottom, and I've marked on here for you, just take your larger pieces, and all you have to do is just hold them next to each other. You can see they're all 5 millimeters tall. And take one of the larger pieces. I didn't mention also, like sand, if you see any markings or singe marks or something that bother you. Otherwise, like this one I noticed had singe marks on it, but I'm just going to turn it to the inside. So we're going to glue the 2 larger pieces on first, and they will fit just inside the markings. Okay, so I'm going to put those on, and then, of course, we're going to come after that's slightly dried, and we will put in the side ones, but I'm going to go ahead and adhere these. Okay, these pieces are not entirely dry, but I'm going to go ahead and glue in these side pieces, and like there, it looks like there could be a little bit of adjustment that I need to make, but you'll glue these 2 in and make everything square. Okay, ready to turn it over now. Those are all glued, and we can go ahead and put this lip on. Basically, the design of this piece was so that you could put small items in this one, and then they wouldn't roll over the edge, I think was the idea of the original piece. But we're just going to go ahead and glue that down. Okay, so the bottom, the foundational piece is ready to go. At this point, if you're going to be using a clear coat or if you're going to be leaving this plain, then you probably want to pay attention to the direction of your wood grain. And you want the direction to, well, I'm assuming you will want the direction to go the same way. That's certainly how I did it. Maybe you want something wild and crazy, I don't know, but basically I'm gonna have it go this way, and so I just want to lay these out so that they go up and down. Go ahead, take either the small one or the big one of chunk here that is left, and we're going to go ahead and put a little glue on him. And we're going to place this diagonal in a corner. Okay, so I'll hold that up. It's just diagonal in that corner up against the edge. And then this one is going to go on the opposite side. So I'll get a little bit of glue here. And this little guy will go right up against here. So what I can do is make adjustments, and I do want those to dry real nicely, because the next thing is to actually put these tops on, and I don't want this wobbling and being a real pain when I'm doing that. So I'm going to wait for that to dry real well. Okay, so the last step is to go ahead and put some glue on top of these little lifts. And you can do this one at a time if you want to, but I'll show you. If you take these and you hover over them to where the corners just kind of barely touch or overlap each other, then what you get, and you can see this better than I can, I don't want to tip this, but you should have a square, 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 square. And I don't know any better way to do this other than to basically just have to kind of hold it until your glue gets a little bit tacky, because in order to place these and then have them dry, it's just kind of like one of those things where you sort of have to hold on to it. If you wanted, you could make this a shorter coffee table, like by moving, you could scooch these in a little bit, move these in, and then you wouldn't have as wide of a coffee table. Or, if you're, maybe going to try to use it as a side table or something like that. But basically that's it. You just kind of hang on to those until they are good and dry, and you're good to go. Thank you so much for your purchase.